Hello, this is Heather Dehn-Brastad, your Algebra 1.5 teacher, and in this video I'm going to go over how to do one of your first book assignments. So right now I'm on the announcements page, and you should have already done the Getting Started folder. There's a couple required assignments to do in that folder, and then you click on Part 1, Weeks 1 through 8, and scroll down until you get to Week 1, Getting Ready for Chapter 1, Foundations of Algebra. And you've probably already read the overview and you've looked at the introductions from all of your classmates and you've read the information here. Watched the algebra, using your algebra book video, and did the first journal on reading your math book, and now you're ready to get started on this assignment. This is our first textbook assignment. So we'll be using our book to do 1.1 Variables and Expressions worksheet. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on either the Word document, which is the first one, .doc, or the PDF. Now that depends on how you're going to complete your assignment. For most of you, you'll click on the Word document and then type your answers in. Some people would rather do that by hand, fill in their answer with a pen or pencil, and then you can click on either one of these and print it out. The PDF you cannot type your answers on. It's just for printing or for looking at. So I'm going to go to the Word document. I already have it open, so I'm going to just open it up, and it'll look like this. Now when you open this up, it's not saved yet. So go to File, Save, or Save As, and save it to your math folder so that you can find it later. And if you don't have a folder yet, maybe I need to add a place, so you can click on wherever your computer is. Let me go back to this though. I'm going to go to Browse, find your desktop or your documents or where you've decided is the best place for you to save it, and then make a folder. You can click on New Folder to create a folder. Maybe you want to call it Math Class or Algebra Class or whatever you want to call it. And double click to open your math class. I lost it. Math class. See all the folders I have already? I don't see my math. Oh, I called it algebra class, didn't I? Algebra class. So I double click to open it, and now I can save it. And now when I do my work, it's going to save to that spot so I can find it later. So here's your worksheet. Your worksheet is going to include information about how to do the problems, some reading materials, some examples, and then some problems to do. So at the top part of this worksheet, we see that to translate between phrases and algebraic expressions, you must connect words with symbols. Look at the examples in the table below. So for addition, we might see words like sum of 3 and n, or n more than 3, or 3 plus n. All of those could be written as 3 plus n. For subtraction, maybe we'll see the difference of 3 and n, or n less than 3. Notice that when you say less than, the n is at the back. Whatever is less than the other number has to go second in your writing. So we have 3 minus n. But 3 minus n, or I'm going to add a 3 less n, would be written as 3 minus n. Less than, you have to flip it around. For multiplication, we use product, times, we might use groups. For division, you can see quotient or 3 divided by. You might actually have the words written out, or you might have separated into so many groups. Those all mean division. For division, you can write it either with the division symbol, which is very hard to do when you're typing, or you can use a fraction, or you can use the backslash, which is with the question mark on the keyboard, and then make your division sign that way. That's how we'll most often do it when we're typing with Word. For multiplication, you can just write them next to each other. You can use a dot. Don't use the X for times because it looks too much like, a variable X. But you can use the asterisk, which is on your keyboard by your numbers. That makes a good time sign. Or you can put parentheses around one or both of the numbers to show times. So here's our problems that you're going to solve. It says to solve each problem, write 10 times the value of y in symbols in 3 different ways. So times the value of y. So you might look back at your table and say, well, that's multiplication. So I'm going to pick 3 of these ways to write 10 times y. The value of y just means 10 times y. So one way would just be to write them next to each other. Now you pick 2 other ways that are up here. Now where do I find that dot? Well, one way is you could just copy it, Control C, or you can right click and get to the copy button that way. And then, so I'm going to separate these with a semicolon. I'm going to type 10, and now I'm going to paste, so I'm going to do Control V, and there's that dot. You can find it other ways too by inserting a symbol. And then you need to find one more way here to write 10y, or 10 times y. And then you're going to do the sum of 4 and x, so look back up here until you find sum. You probably know which one that is. And then for the next questions, you're going to write in words. So how do I write this in words? So you're going to type it out 2 different ways. It's got a division symbol in it, so you're going to use 2 of these ways, but instead of 3 divided by n, you're going to write k divided by 6. And then there's some more writing these in symbols. And notice that one is 4 less than b, and one is b less than 4. When it's less than, don't forget that you have to flip the order. When it's less than, the first number or expression or variable has to go at the back. So they'll be flipped. All right, then our next section, here's another table that shows what words mean to add. Add, sum, more, increase. These might all tell us to use a plus sign. For a subtraction symbol, we might use subtract, different, less, or decreased. For multiply, we might say multiply or say the product of such and such, times, or per, like $7 per hour. And then divide, we use quotient, or we might use split, or we might use ratio. Those all mean to divide. So what you're going to do now is there's a sentence or 2, and you're going to write out the expression in symbols that would match that. So for number 7, it says Craig types 20 words per minute. Write an expression for the number of words Craig types in m minutes. So we're going to use m for minutes, and per is under the multiply symbol, which is a good hint that we're probably going to use multiplication here. If he types 20 words per minute, and every minute we're using the letter m to stand for however many minutes we have, you can just write 20m. Or you can write 20 times m using that asterisk star key that's by your numbers. And then you continue. That's all you have to do for number 7. And then you're going to do the same thing for 8 through, is it through 12? Let's look at one more. Number 11, Enrique collected 152 recyclable bottles, and Latasha collected B recyclable bottles. Write an expression for the number of bottles they collected all together. So should we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? If we want to take Enrique's and Latasha's together, then that's a sum or adding. So we would write 152 plus letter B. All right, continuing on to the last section, we are going to look at solving and expression. We're going to evaluate an expression by taking a value that's given and putting it back in for the box or for a variable. So this is the value of a box minus 9 depends on what number is placed in the box. So let's say that we have 20 placed in the box. So this is telling us what to put in the box. So we would write our expression, box minus 9, put the 20 in, and then do the work. 20 minus 9 is 11, of course. But we're going to use variables most of the time instead of boxes. So here we have x divided by 7. And then they want us to evaluate that when x is equal to 28. So we replace the x with 28. And then you do the problem. 28 divided by 7 is 4, and so on. Sometimes you might have 2 variables, and then they have to give you the values of each of those in order to evaluate. Replace x with 6 and y with 2, which is what we got right here, and then solve. Let's just do a couple of these. How about number 18? So it says to take 15 plus z, but z, it tells us right here, is equal to -3. Now you can use your calculator to check if you're Not sure about the negatives, but 15 plus negative 3 is the same as 12. So number 18, the answer for that would be 12. And in number 19 through 24, pick the correct value of x, y, or z, and then solve. Now, 19, 20, 21 are written across. If you would rather write them like 19, 20, 21 because it's easier for typing, that's fine by me. Let's do number 20. It says y minus x. Y is 18, so I put an 18 instead of a y. Whoops. X is 2, so I put a 2 instead of that. And 18 minus 2 is equal to 16. So I just solved number 20. And then when you're all done with your worksheet, make sure that you save it again. If you want to change your title to done or something, you can. Sometimes students do that. Then I'm going to go back to Blackboard, back to my folder. To turn a worksheet in, you click on the title of your assignment. And I go down, down, down to Browse My Computer, Attach a File. I want to attach that worksheet. So I go to my Algebra class, and there's my worksheet that I'm all done with. And you should see it right here show up. If you have any comments to add, you can, but usually students don't add anything. And then you click on Submit. And you should get a box that shows what you just turned in. Here it says in green up here, your submission appears on this page, da 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 da. And then here's what I turned in. And you can, I only answered a few of the questions just to show us, but there's the answer I wrote for number 1. And what else did I do? Number 7 had an answer by it. Number 11 did. And then it all looks good, so I click on OK. If I accidentally had submitted the wrong thing, I would do Start New and then submit the correct item. And then you're all done with the first assignment, and you scroll down until you find 1.2, which is the next one after that. So remember to let me know if you have any questions about how to submit assignments, or if you get stuck on any problems. I will correct your assignment, and then you can go to my feedback, which will be in the My Progress section. So that's where you'll click to see what grade I have given you, and then you can read my feedback and revise it and resubmit it if you want to or need to. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.